We're in the middle of May now, and I've finally gotten my finger lime outside. I've really kept them in because we've had some monsoon-like rains that actually caused quite a bit of flooding in our local area. So I didn't want to risk any root rot, so he just stayed inside until now. But he's actually been putting on, after flowering loads for the first time, he's putting on lots and lots of growth as well. So I think he's happy enough. Get a bit closer, I can show you how his fruits are doing. Some of the first finger limes are growing nice and big. And he's still flowering here and there, with new fruits forming as well as lots of new growth too. Here's a newly formed lime. I've been a little bit worried about him because usually I feed him, during the summer I usually feed him weekly, a special summer feed for citrus, and during the winter I tend to feed him every month, a special winter feed. But since he's been flowering, I was watching lots of videos and actually saw some from Australia, and they suggest that when this kind of tree starts flowering, they're very sensitive to overfeeding, and so if you give them too much food, then they'll start dropping their fruit so they can concentrate on growing their foliage. And so I didn't want to risk that, so I've actually not been feeding it for about 3 months now, ever since it started flowering. And it worried me a little bit because I'm a feeder, I suppose, when it comes to plants. But it does seem to be paying off, and we haven't had the kind of fruit drop which can easily happen. I think I've lost 2 finger limes so far, and at the time they dropped they were about the size of the newly formed one, so quite small. But overall it's doing really well, I think, and hopefully you'll enjoy being outside, finally getting some fresh air and maybe a little bit of rainfall, not too much. I'll keep an eye on whether or not we're going to have lots of rain, and then I'll have to move him back inside again. I'll just turn him around so you can see the other flowers and fruits. I've just spun him round, and here's his latest flower. It might be the last one because now he's looking at growing lots of foliage, but such beautiful dainty little things. And over here we have some of the fruits. The more recent ones have started developing too. But hopefully quite soon we'll have some lovely fruits to try. Here's one down here too. They're a little bit camouflaged because they are green, but there's one right here. And then there's some up here too. There's 2. So they're really tucked away in there in the thorny thicket.